What the heck? All right. Now I see that I'm live. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Taking out. Oh, no. Can you guys see me now? All right. Cool. We back on. So I'm going to be editing a video while I'm on live today. I want to talk about health anxiety a little bit. Because we talked quite a bit about that yesterday. I think it's an interesting topic, but I'm going to wait for people to hop on and then do my thing after that. What's all this stuff? Oh yeah, I can't just do that yet. You know what's annoying about editing with a GoPro, well, 360 cam, is that you have to upload the files from the GoPro first into the GoPro app, and then it lets you edit them. So I filmed another video today, but I have to go through the GoPro footage that I have first. I have to go through this footage first. Hey, but it's pretty cool. Because I can see everything in the freaking gym. That's tight. So now I don't even have to use like my camera footage. I'm editing another video right now for any of you guys that are just popping in the live. I did not drink enough water yesterday. I'll tell you guys that much. I didn't drink near enough water. Just stupid. I'm paying for it today, not drinking enough water. Definitely paying for it. I got to go back to work. I was just like, not complaining, I guess kind of complaining, talking about how like, I feel like, so I have an in-person business for those of you guys that don't know. I have a business that like an athletic training business, and then I do this, and I do what's it called? I do this. I have an in-person training business. And then yeah, I have a podcast that I run. And it's like, man, it's getting difficult to manage all things. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Like sometimes there are just not enough hours in the day to do certain things, right? And that's like why so many business people or business gurus even tell you to focus on one thing at a time. They tell you just like get proficient and get good at one thing. Man, it's difficult because I'm trying to edit a video right now that I filmed today. I didn't film the whole video. I just filmed like me exercising. That's like going to be, the crux of the video basically. And now I have to film the voiceover. I really wanted to come on here and do a live today. And then I have to like go back to training people at 5 p.m. I got to be there by 5. And thankfully the gym's only literally a minute and a half away. But yeah, it's just tough. So anyway, I want to talk to you guys about merch for a second here. If you weren't in the live yesterday, I'm about to be making merch for pots. Like I want it to be cool though. I don't want it to be like gay. Like there's like a lot of, I didn't mean to say that. I don't want it to be like stupid because there's like a lot of merch for like, there's like pots, like clothes, that are really stupid looking. Like they like outwardly or outright say stuff like, I think it's cringe stuff. They like, it literally says pots or like chronic illness survivor and stuff like that. Like, I don't want it to be like that. I want it to be kind of cooler and like not make you identify with pots, but then it symbolize something like about the pots community for sure. So I've been trying to think of ideas with that. And then for whatever the sales, are, we're going to donate 10% of all sales of all the money to either Dysautonomia International or to a random person in the order list to one of their medical bills, or if they want to do I don't know, some sort of other intervention and they talk to us about it, then we'll send the place the money for them to start or for them to put a deposit down or whatever it may be. But I just want to get more active in the way of like creating things to help the community rather than creating things that are not going to be of any use. You know what I mean? Know what I mean? So there's the house cleaning on that. Let's check the chat. Back-to-back days. Oh, man. What up, dude? What's your actual name? I feel naughty saying that name that you have there. What's your actual name, dude? I know some people don't want to actually like say their names. Knitter Gritter. I don't feel good saying that name. I also went and picked up an acai bowl because there's no freaking meals prepped. There's no food prepped in my house right now. So I put it on a timer. I always put it in the freezer after I go pick it up because 20 minutes is the sweet spot when it like is actually like it's frozen and it's still good. So I'm waiting on that. No, why is it in slow motion? That's stupid. What the frick? Oh my gosh. GoPros are so dude. I filmed part of my video on the GoPro 360 again. Gosh, it's annoying. Like you have to edit it in the freaking GoPro app before you put it anywhere else. That's so annoying. But I do like that I put it up there. Like it's cool. Your legal name is Matt, eh? Matt trying to pull a slick one on us. You're not slick, boy. What do you guys want to see more of on this channel? Let's talk about that. What would you like to see more of? Because I want to try to, I'm not even going to say the goal of like what I want to do, but I have a goal in terms of video posting, right? Like how many videos I want to post and stuff. So what do you guys want to see on this channel? I think that would be helpful for me to know, so I can post for you guys more regularly. But I need to know. I need to know. Tell me. Tell me what you guys want to see. Do you guys want like dating advice? I'm totally kidding. I just pull like a fresh and fit. That'd be hilarious. I'm like the pots guy, but then I also like have a panel of people and I talk about dating advice stuff to you guys. I don't know if you guys have before, but the GoPro app is, it's like, it's cool. It's cool to edit on, but it's also such a friggin' pain in the butt, dude. It's cool because it's it's cool because there's so much functionality. Like I can like turn the camera because I have a 360 camera that I'm doing. Like I can like make, like, it's almost like if I was using a gimbal, I can turn the camera to where I want it to go and stuff, but it's just such a pain in the ass sometimes to record with. I'm not even gonna pretend that that's not the case. I'm going to look at the chat right about meow. If you don't have any more or new tips, then maybe POTS related stories and how you handled those situations. Yeah, I don't really know how many more tips I can give. And it's like, I don't know. You know, to be honest with you, let me look at my channel dashboard real quick and just kind of like go over what I've done. Like I have some other stuff for sure that I could talk about. I have like some like mental health stuff that I could talk about. I want to talk, like the main thing that I want to do with this channel is drive home like extreme value. And there's this guy, I don't know if you guys have ever seen him, but his name is Metabolic Mike. And Metabolic Mike has a really cool YouTube channel because like everything that he posts has like a ton of value. And hold on. So he's like got 707K subscribers, but he talks about everything, dude. He talks about everything health-wise, like fasting works better if you do this, about peptides for growth hormone, top reasons to avoid plastics. He's cool because like he's really into alternative health, I guess, but like what I would consider to be real health, right? But like alternative medicine stuff. And he interviews a lot of people. And what I would like to do almost completely is transition into talking to people that are like really the experts. You know what I mean? Like I think that could be one of the most valuable things that I'd be able to offer you guys is talking to you or giving you guys access to people that I think provide extreme value. I think that would be dope. Like I personally, that's the kind of stuff that I like to see, right? And so I think that if I like to see it, you guys will probably like to see it. But yeah, high intensity health. I think that's his YouTube channel. Sorry, my bad. I refer to him as Metabolic Mike because because that's, what he is on Instagram. And also this is a guy that I'm going to try to get connected with because the woman that I'm interviewing next month is friends with this guy. I'm going to be going on a live with this woman. I think I told you guys in a different live. Her name is Dr. Amy West. She's out of New York and she's an ER doc, I'm pretty sure. But her main thing is like chronic illness and CrossFit and how CrossFit can help with chronic illness or whatever. Like that's what she really focuses on. And that's not really like my thing, right? Like I'm a big advocate for CrossFit, but I think CrossFit is like so culty that even like they get doctors to be like, this will cure metabolic disease. And like, although it will for sure cure it does cure metabolic disease. It's like, it's not really everyone's taste. And basically any sort of movement can cure metabolic disease, right? So like if you have diabetes and you like become a marathon runner and you add some muscle and all these things, like you will have better metabolic outcomes than people who don't exercise. That's just facts, you know? But again, she's an expert. She's a PhD, or she's an MD. So that's why I really, really, really do want to have her on, because I think it would be valuable to y'all. So yeah, let me know if that interests you guys, because I think that all that, like, I really love alternative health. I love nutrient therapy stuff. I love when people talk about like, I'm a big fan of preventative medicine over like, you know, traditional Western medicine. I think like that there's so much value in alternative med, but it doesn't really get enough, I guess, traction or whatever, in my opinion. I don't know. I really like it. I like to talk about the idea of like heavy metal toxicity, mold poisoning, all this stuff, although I don't think it's as prevalent as a lot of like doctors would have you believe. Josh Bridges, the CrossFitter. That is somebody that I would have access to. That is actually somebody that I would have access to. I'm not saying that to be any sort of way. I really do have access to him. So if you guys actually, okay, let's settle this right here. I have two channels that I post on. Okay, I have this one, and I have another one. And the other one is my counterculture page. And what I have been kind of messing with is the counterculture podcast that I run is there to discuss different ideas that I don't know if a lot of you guys would, to be honest with you, if you would like I talk about masculinity on there. I talk about business. I talk about entrepreneurship. I talk about why, like, you know, I talk to people who don't do the 9 to 5. I talk to a bunch of athletes, things of that nature. What I've been considering doing, what I've been thinking about doing, because there's just not enough time for everything, is maybe combining the two, combining it. That this would be every time that I do like not that I would get rid of that channel, but I would double it up. And so every time that I would do a counterculture pod, right, which could be like me going live, let's say like I went live with Dr. Justine Lucchini, or when I go live with Dr. Tyler Pansner, or when I go live with Amy West, or if I, you know, I'm able to get Metabolic Mike on. And Paul Saladino is somebody that I'm kind of chasing after too. But if I could get these people on, I might label it as a counterculture podcast and then put it in the bottom right corner of this, but then also post it to this channel. So I don't know. What let's talk about, what do you guys think? What do you guys think about that? And this is like stuff that I shouldn't even like ask you guys, because it's like, there's a business decision for me, but I feel like, you know, we know each other. We like each other. I hope you guys like me. And I do value your guys' opinions, believe it or not. So I can't breathe. No shot. Yeah, Josh Bridges is awesome, and he recently changed his diet to animal-based. How early I would agree, because the POTS community will only really take you so far with viewership. Paul Saladino, no way. Yeah, so something that I talked to my girlfriend about yesterday is like, I see I'm going to be honest with you guys. To be honest, I see this channel blowing up pretty. I have some goals for this channel, and I have some like realistic things looking at my metrics and stuff. So I kind of see it like going in the right direction. And so I don't like the other podcasts. I talk about a lot of things that I'm like really passionate about in terms of like societal, I don't know how to say it, like societal expectations, norms, things of that nature. I talk a lot about that kind of stuff. And I really, really enjoy doing that podcast. And it's like, it's like my go-to thing, right? Like I really love, I like to talk smack. I like to like give people inspiration. I like to give people things that I have like real life experience in, which is like real life, right? Like trauma and stuff, that like things that I've gone through, and be able to give people advice based on that, and like talk about masculinity, because I think that masculinity is dying. And there's a lot of like, to be frank, pussy guys out there, right? So I like to talk about that stuff. But then I'm like, also like, I don't know if I mix those topics with like this POTS channel. I don't know if that would be the right way to go. And maybe it would. Maybe it would be the right way to go, but we'll never know unless I like do it, So, back to the chat. Sorry guys, I'm trying to edit a video too while I'm on here. Paul Saladino, no way. Yeah, I'm not confirming. I'm not saying that it's happened or that it's going to happen anytime soon. I am just merely saying that I'm trying to do everything within my power to contact Paul Saladino. I'm trying everything in my power to get to that man, or I will be trying everything within my power. What's cool about that is what's really cool about that. Oh, hold on. Oh, dude, I'm gonna lose my mind. I did not just do all that editing and lose it. All right, so I think I don't remember where I was going. I want to talk to you guys though. This might be of some help, or this might be useful to some of you people. But you're joking. Dude, there's no freaking way, bro. Something I think that might be useful is like, so I'm talking to you guys about the fact that I want to get Paul Saladino on the podcast, right? I want to get him on the channel. And you could even take this, so far as to like your real life, right? Where I think so many people so often think that things are impossible, or they can't even imagine that they would get some like opportunities or whatever. You guys, I'm going to tell you this. I read the book How to Win Friends and Influence People a long time ago by Daniel Carnegie. Okay. And that book single-handedly changed so much about my worldview, in that my worldview became that literally nothing in this life is impossible. It's not impossible to talk to anybody, and you're always 3 steps away of contact from somebody that you want to or need to know. Always. And so the Paul Saladino thing, you could even take this into your POTS life, right? If you believe it and you do the work, and you really try, anything is possible. You can make it happen. I know that if I really try, if I really want to get Paul Saladino on my YouTube channel to talk about this stuff, I just have to figure out a way that I can relate to him. I have to figure out a way that I can get contact with him first. I have to find a way that I can provide value to him in order to have him on my podcast. But it's so not impossible. It's just like, I think it's so weird because so many people even let really small little things be part of their vocabulary. Like, I could never, I can't, like things of that nature. And it's like, yeah, well, you're right. You can't, and you won't, and you couldn't, because you say it like that, because that's how you frame your life. So why would you ever expect anything else? Bro, what the frick happened here? Victoria No Block. Hey, thanks for your channel and you're welcome. In 1 month, I went from basically bedridden to now no wheelchair and can walk 200 feet. What do you think is a realistic timeline to get back to normal? Dude, congrats. First off, that's a hard question to answer because I know nothing about your state of being. I don't know anything about your lifestyle. I don't know anything about what you do on a day-to-day basis in terms of like exercise. I don't know anything about your diet. I don't know anything about your blood. I haven't seen your blood work. I don't know supplements. I don't know. There's a lot of things that I don't know. A realistic timeline. I try not to give like timelines to even like my clients. One thing that I will say though is that when I work with people, even people that start as bedridden, for the most part, it happens within a 3-month span. Like generally, it happens within a 3-month span. And I know some people are going to get triggered and they're going to be like, there's no way. And to those people, I say, quite frankly, it doesn't matter what you think or what you say, because the proof is in the pudding. I have enough testimony. So yeah, I think that if you play your cards right, if you do things right, change for anything in life. If you play your cards right, change can happen a lot quicker than you think that it can. The problem is that a lot of people have self-limiting beliefs, number one. And number two, my biggest piece of advice is always try to find a mentor. This isn't even a sales pitch for me, but always try to find a mentor. A big problem that happens with people is that they want to be know-it-alls and they think that they can figure it out themselves. And that could be true. It may be true. But the thing that I'll let you know is that if you want to be a know-it-all and you want to figure it out all by yourself, totally fine. But just know and expect that things are going to take a little bit longer probably than how they would if you use the cheat code. If you streamlined the progress by hiring out or asking somebody to mentor you or be a coach or whatever. Everything in life that I have done, I've found some success in. Even this, I've had some sort of mentor. I've had some sort of person that could point me in the right direction. I've always had somebody that I could ask questions to and look to. I've never, ever in my life that in things that I've been somewhat successful in, have I ever done it alone. Or somewhat, I should say that like this, somewhat successful in a faster amount of time. So, or in a not faster amount of time. You guys get what I'm saying. In a relatively short period of time, right? Like even with YouTube, one of my friends, this guy right here, Meme for Time, he's big on Instagram. He has a YouTube channel too. It's not like a huge YouTube channel by any means. His thing is Instagram, but he has like 4K subscribers on YouTube. He doesn't focus on it much. But he showed me like how to look at all the analytics and how to do the research and stuff on like, what are your subscribers watching? What are they looking for? He literally showed me the analytics page. He showed me the analytics page and then gave me an idea of like how to actually look at it to use it for content and stuff. And so when I realized that I had like 800 subscribers here, like 2 months ago, I was like, oh, okay. I know what to do. And now that I hit 1,000 subscribers, I have more analytics. Now I know what to do to get my next 1,000 subscribers. So all that to say is that Victoria or anybody that may be watching, if you know of somebody who has gone into remission from POTS, if you know anybody who has who has access to somebody who's gotten into remission, gotten into remission from POTS, talk to them. I appreciate your answer. I'm with you, mind over matter. You're one of few recovered and speaking actual truth. Do you mentor in person only? No, I do online coaching. I do online one-on-one online coaching, or you can hit the link in the description and you can join the app where we have some people in there in the Positive POTS forum. I've been focusing a lot more on the one-on-one coaching for sure, but I only have 8 spots left. I only have 8 spots left that I'm actually willing to give up. It's just, it's becoming a lot. So eventually, soonish, I'm going to have to make the choice between hiring out somebody at my in-person business and hiring somebody to help me manage like online clients and things of that nature. So you're welcome for the answer. I'm going to go get my food real quick, guys. It'll take 2 seconds. It's just in the freezer. Ask some questions so I come back to something and I can answer and interact. Oh, these legs are sore. Advice as to what would be good for your channel differs depending on how big your audience is. Since I am at half of yours, I would say I can't tell you shit. Yeah. Somebody though, it's actually a dude that's out of Milwaukee, which is the city that I'm originally from. He made it pretty big on YouTube, and I've heard one thing consistently from YouTubers and from people like I know a lot of like somewhat big creators in the CrossFit space, right? Like Instagram and all that stuff. And always the answer for how to grow your platform is the same every single time. Which is weird because it's the same answer for most things in life. You guys want to know what it is? Consistency. Being consistent. But a lot of creators will say when you're in the growing phase, when you're in the growing stages, that you should be posting really frequently, is what they say. When you have a lower subscriber count, like even me. That's why I started to go live almost daily because I realized that I would get more engagement and more traction. And it didn't matter how I was posting daily, as long as I was posting daily. That's why I do these lives often. So number one, it's a good way for me to interact with you guys, and you guys can actually get a feel for like who I am. And I like to do it. I like talking to you guys. And I think that's the most valuable way that I can give advice as well. I can sit here and answer questions. And I think the second most important thing next to consistency is always giving value. But the way that we look at value isn't always like somebody needs to learn something from this or somebody needs a takeaway. Sometimes the takeaway is just that you made their day better or that they laugh or whatever, you know? I didn't drink enough water yesterday, and I'm feeling it today. I am so freaking thirsty. All right, there's some more stuff. Victoria, I appreciate the answer. I'm with you. Wait, I answered that. Mr. Jazam. I'll check out the app, but I'd love to know more about the one-on-one coaching. Victoria, I'm going to put my email in the chat right now. Contact me there for information. We'll schedule a consult call. Talk more about it. Jazam, have you had clients that progress much slower than the rest, and do you know what reasons were for that? Yeah. And I've even had like clients that, were doing fairly well, left, regressed a lot, and then came back, and now the process is even harder. I've had it all. Reasons, I don't really want to talk about the reasons just because it's pretty personal. And I wouldn't be able to explain most of the reasons without giving up the specific case. And then if they see this, they might not love that. So I'm sorry, I don't feel comfortable sharing that information. I will tell you this, when people are not consistent or they don't listen, those two things prevent people from progressing. Or if people, here we go. If people try to do too much too soon and don't let me know and aren't honest, that also prevents them from progressing. So doing too much too soon with POTS, I know, Jazan, you've talked about this with like ME and stuff. I'm totally on board with doing too much too soon, but I think that too much is usually too little. I think that most people are doing too little because they don't understand what too much actually is. They don't have any metrics to measure that off of. So, yeah, when people don't listen or they do too much because they're too excited, when they want to rush the process. Do you only do one-on-one coaching with specifically POTS, or do you have any fitness or any beginner level CrossFit coaching as well? I do. I do it all. I'm just now starting to get more into the CrossFit realm of coaching, and I really enjoy it. I shouldn't say that. Actually, I've done CrossFit coaching for a long time actually, but competitive CrossFit specifically, I'm getting more into. I understand. Do you know why it can be harder to progress after regressing? I have speculations, but I don't know an exact answer. It could be due to a lot of things, such as like if people regress, it's generally I don't know if I can say this either without giving stuff up. It depends on the reason for regressing. Let's say that. If it's due to like some sort of sickness or injury or something like that, that can add to it. Sometimes it can be due to extreme deconditioning. But yeah, it's not always the case that when somebody regresses, that it's hard to progress again. But I have dealt with it. I think psychologically, it's hard when it's hard to progress because they get down on themselves. And I've seen this in like weight loss and like strength training, even. I think psychologically for a lot of people, when they see that they've made a lot of progress, and then they have a period of time where they like fell off or got lazy or like got sick and then they like deconditioned or whatever, it's really hard to get back to the point where they were at originally mentally because they're like, oh God, and they're so down on themselves. I think that has a lot to do with it. I think innately human beings don't want to do hard things. Although I think inherently and innately we need to do hard things. I think that's part of our nature. And I think that's where a lot of illness comes from. That's where like depression comes from, in my opinion, is the lack of challenge in a lot of people's lives. I think that everybody has like a threshold of movement that they need in order for biological systems to work. That's just a theory, something that I heard Joe Rogan say, and I noticed a lot in my life. I think it's different for everybody. I think it depends on your genetic code. I think that humans like need to do hard stuff though. Like if you look back to our ancestors, like dude, every day was a battle. Every day was a fight. I was just listening to a podcast. Actually, Dr. Mike interviewing one of my favorite people of all time, who I almost chose to go to a certain college for. His name is Dr. Mike Israetel. And Dr. Mike Israetel said, there's a reason why kids are afraid of monsters. And that's because monsters used to be real. So, like, epigenetically, you have this fear, right? And it's irrational now because there's no fear, but it's still ingrained in you. So I think that biologically, we are meant to do certain things. We need to do certain things. Like we need to do hard stuff because we had to hunt for our food. We had to run for our food. All these different things, you know? So, yeah. It's part of our nature. I have a hard time disappointing myself by, for example, saying, I choked. Sorry, guys. I have a hard time disappointing myself by, for example, saying no to a family activity that would be 5,000 steps when my max is 3,000. Do you have any tips for dealing with disappointment? Oh, Jazan, that's a loaded question. Where do you want me to... What angle do you want me to take that from? There's so many ways that I could come in on that. Because me personally, I think like this. I genuinely think this way. You do not owe anyone shit. You don't owe anyone anything. And so if your worry is like that you're going to disappoint your family, and that's why you're disappointed, then if they're disappointed and they can't understand your circumstance or whatever, I think that the question there really is, you should be re-evaluating your relationships rather than being disappointed in yourself. Because people that love you should support you and should have understanding. You're fully allowed to get upset at my weakness. Haha. I should be able to handle being sad and disappointed. No, I don't. I'm not upset at all about that. I'm just wondering which way you want me to go about it. No, it's that I want to also do fun things outside. Yeah, I think so. I think this. If you're disappointed because you're not quite there yet, that comes from a place of like, I wish I was in this spot, right? I wish I was in this position, and right now, I'm in this position. And you know how they say anxiety is the fear of the future? That's true to a degree, I believe. Obviously, there's like generalized anxiety and stuff like that, but I think that trying to be thankful for the things that you can do right now and understanding that one day you will get there. But then there's the angle of also, do you even have a plan in place to be able to get there? And it's my worldview that most people get upset with themselves or disappointed because they know really intrinsically inside that they're not doing everything possible to make their circumstances better. That's not just to do with pots. We'll take it in the direction of money, for the example, right? I have friends that okay, almost done. Okay, done. I have friends that get really upset by the fact. Okay. I have friends that get really upset over the fact that they're broke and that they can't afford certain things and they can't have any money, or that they don't have any money. So they get upset that they can't do certain things. But intrinsically, where I think the actual upset comes from is not that they can't afford the thing, but it's the fact that they're not actually doing everything possible to be able to afford the thing. So like your friends will tell you that they're upset that they like can't, I don't know, maybe go on a trip with you or something like that. But really, I think what the upset comes from is the fact that like they're not doing what it takes to actually be able to afford the trip, right? So like they don't work hard enough. They don't have a good job because they don't have enough skills. They haven't developed those skills. They don't, they're upset that their life isn't in a certain position. Mostly because everybody knows deep inside whether or not they're doing everything possible in order to achieve a certain status or a certain state or a certain goal. I think that that's really where it is, because if you are doing everything possible to make something happen, it's almost impossible to have disappointment in yourself, right? You could want things to come faster. You could be disappointed that you don't have a certain thing yet, but it's almost impossible to be disappointed in yourself when you know that you are actually doing everything that it takes to do X thing, right? The problem is that a lot of people want to make excuses for why, I don't know, for I've done everything. I've done this, I've done that. And I think the reason why like people get so triggered and upset by that is because truth rings true. People do not get upset when you tell them a lie. People get upset when you tell them the truth, And so that's where I think a lot of it comes from. I've done a lot of treatment things that didn't work over the past 14 years. So to cope, I try things without expecting it to work, though I am expecting more quality of life. So I do stick to treatment. I've done a lot of treatment things that didn't work over the past 14 years. So to cope, I try things without expecting it to work. No, I'm expecting more quality of life. I do stick to treatment. I think this is like the loop that a lot of people with POTS get stuck in. And I'm like gonna be like try to be really kind when I'm saying this. Like a lot of people with POTS and Jazan, I don't know if this is like where your head is at, but I think this is like a philosophical thing now. I think that what people with POTS have to do is they have to take a serious look inside and understand and think about whether they are actually going to do their part or if they're expecting the treatments and the people that they go see to solve the problem for them. So like, let's even like, we can even go to cancer, right? We can talk about cancer. So people with cancer, they can go to the treatment, they can get all the treatments done, but there's also things outside of the treatments that they can do in order to like try to go into remission from cancer. They can clean up their lifestyle. They can stop smoking cigarettes. They can stop drinking alcohol. They can work out. They can meditate. They can do all these other things. It's not just the treat. Sometimes, yeah, the treatments will take care of you. But like if you're relying and you're waiting on everyone else and everything else besides the things that you can control to help heal you and fix you, like you're going to be shit out of luck. Every single time you're going to be shit out of luck. You need to be doing your part. And so like the thing with POTS and the reason why I say the POTS community has such a high victim mentality isn't just because like everything is like, woe is me, blah, blah, blah. I'm, this is wrong. This is wrong. But victim mentality comes from a place of like, people don't want to fix their own issue. People don't want to participate in the solution. And people believe that by going to different doctors and going to different treatment plans and blah, 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 that's participating in the progress and in the solution. It's not. You're doing what everyone else is telling you to do. And like, even so, people with POTS will do everything else but clean up their lifestyle. Like, it's laughable. It's laughable. Like, for some, like I always use this excuse of this like obese chick that's on Instagram with you guys. Like I've talked about her a million times. I'm not gonna give out her name just because I don't want to do her dirty like that. But there's this obese girl, and she like is like she has in her profile OCD, PTSD, BP, depression, all these ADHD, POTS, blah, 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 blah. Like give me the label, right? Let me identify with labels instead of identify with who I am as a person and God. And so she's constantly going to different doctor's appointments, and she posts about it all the time. She even posted something like, come with me to do an iron transfusion or something like that, like yesterday. And she also posts like, when your trigger foods are near you and you can't say no. And then she like shows herself eating a donut or something stupid like that. And I look at her, I'm like, you're going and doing everything else besides cleaning up your lifestyle. What is with that shit? Like, this is the lack of accountability and responsibility that so many people with POTS and chronic illness like do. It's always, woe is me, I'm a victim, everybody else needs to fix my problem. I don't. It's the same shit with liberals. And to be honest with you, it's the same thing with conservatives too. Like, everything, it's crazy because everything in these like different realms of the world can almost be like there's polarities to everything, right? There's a good side and a bad side, and there's almost never any real gray area. There sometimes is, but there's almost not, right? It's like these people act like, though, you know how like conservatives will yell at liberals because like, you just want handouts and you don't want to lift up your bootstraps and like do the work. Same thing with POTS people, dude. Like, they just want to go to the doctor's office and have the doctor cure their problem and fix their problem, and they don't want to do shit about it. They're like, well, the doctor should have been taking care of me. Do you still eat donuts? Well, yeah, but the doctor. No, go screw yourself, dude. Put the donut down. Like for 6 days, put the donut down. 7 days, put the donut down. You're not even going to want the donut after 7 days. If that chick lost weight, I guarantee you 7 of her 400 labels would go away. 7 of her 400 labels would go away. The ones that are in her profile. It's just crazy. It's crazy that, like, I don't know. And so, truly, a lot of your issues in life when it comes to, like, dude, like, it's just, it is what it is. Progress takes work. And the work comes from you. It doesn't come from other people. It's the same thing when people are like, I'm not paid enough. Well, you don't do shit. So what do you expect? You know? Like, I have friends that are like, I should be getting paid X amount of dollars. I'm like, dude, you're an idiot. Like, you're actually an idiot. And you expect to get paid 6 figures. Like, you haven't read a book in years. You have not developed any, like, valuable skills since you were in 11th grade. Like, I don't know why you would expect that a company, like, what, because you've been working and because you think you deserve it, like, that people should just give you opportunities? You haven't done anything. You haven't tried to get yourself in the room with certain people. You haven't tried communicating with certain people. You haven't worked on your communication. You haven't networked ever in your life. And you just think you should be getting paid X amount of dollars. Like, what world do you live on? And that's the same stuff with health. People are like, yeah, I should be healthy. I deserve to be healthy. I hate being sick. I don't like having POTS. Well, okay. Have you done anything about it, or are you just waiting for doctors to cure you? Like, have you done anything? Do you have an exercise program that you actually follow to a T? Have you done elimination diet? Have you dialed in your nutrition? Have you dialed in your hydration protocols? Have you hired a coach? I mean, everything but your own responsibilities. People do. Like, it's just avoidant, you know? And it's like, I don't know how to wake people up from that. I don't know how to wake people up from the victim mentality besides, like, yelling at them. And even then, it seems to be like some people like to be yelled at. I'm one of those people. I like that's why I keep certain mentors in my life. And I like to be called on my bullshit. My girlfriend yesterday, something she said to me, and it pissed me off because it was true. It pissed me off. I said something about somebody, and she said to me, she looked me in the face, she said, it sounds like you're talking shit. And I was like, damn. And I got mad. I actually tried to argue with her about it. She said, it sounds like you're talking shit. I don't talk shit about people. Truly, guys. I don't talk shit about people. And that's why it hurt me, because it sounded like I was talking shit. Straight up. And I was making a joke. And it wasn't a good joke. And so I even told her that. I was like, yeah, you're right. And I want you to hold me accountable to things like that, because that's the standard that my girlfriend has for me as a boyfriend. Is that she as the leader of the household, and the person who she looks up to, and who is the, I don't know, the person that like sets the standard for our house. She doesn't want to hear me talk shit about people. Rightfully so. I don't want to talk shit about people. So I'm super glad that she does that. But I want people that will call me on my bullshit and will say, like, hey, look, you're not holding the standard that we expect of you. All right, fair enough. Is TRT bad for POTS? I don't know. I don't think I'm qualified to say that. I've had clients who are on TRT that have POTS. I'll say that. Love these rants. Thanks, dude. I don't know. You could just like trigger me once and I'll go on for hours. Jazan, I can't tell myself I'll be better in 3 months, but I guess I could commit to 3 months of perfect lifestyle and progressive walking, just the let's see what happens challenge. Yeah, I mean, you don't. The other thing is set. So like, I believe in setting timelines for certain things. So like financially, I have a whiteboard in here where I have timelines. Like I want to have made X amount of sales online in a certain amount of time. But what those things do, it's not so much the fact that whether you hit that goal or not. It's when you write it down or you set a goal, you're more likely to do the things necessary to get to that goal when you set a time frame. Now, when it comes to your health, and if you've been chronically ill for years, I mean, that's a little bit different, right? Like, that's a little different. There's so many compounding variables there. With online sales, I can be like, I want to make $6,000 online sales in the month of August, and I can do everything in my power to do. I can make a bunch of content. I can post more. I can reach out to people. I can do a whole bunch of different things, create an email list, all these different things. But if I don't make it by like $500, I'm not going to get down on myself, because I'm going to look back at the past month and be like, oh my gosh, dude, I made $4,500 or I made $5,500. That's crazy. At least I know I did everything in my power to get there. But setting expectations and setting goals are not a bad thing. It's a really, really good thing. What I would do if you were somebody with POTS is I would make a goal of like, in 3 months, I want to be able to go to a family event. Like, for example, just on what you were saying, I want to be able to go to a family event, and maybe I don't stand the whole time, but I bring a chair with me and I participate in some of the yard games or whatever. That's the kind of goals that I help people set when it comes to POTS. Some people need a life coach to keep them accountable rather than a therapist. Yeah, 100%. I think that therapists, for the most part, are bullshit. I'm not going to lie. I think that therapy is made for women. And that's okay. I think that, like, men, I don't know. Men, I think, like, some can benefit from therapy. I've definitely benefited from therapy. But I think that the majority of therapists are bullshit. Have you guys ever been friends with a therapist? Have you ever been friends or known a therapist? Like, I'll tell you one thing. A lot of the ones that I have personally, like, I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I retract everything I just said. Never mind. We're not doing it. Jazan, I do the whole lifestyle, by the way, except from a small bite of cake that doesn't flare me up once a month. And I slack on wearing the tightest compression and walking too much to avoid disappointment. Yeah, but Jazan, what I would say is that if you are avoiding walking too much to avoid disappointment, you're doing yourself a disservice, because no matter where you are in your progress in POTS or in life, right? Like, no matter where you are in your journey, you kind of have to test the waters every now and then. You have to test the waters every now and then and see where you're at. Like, you'll never know if you don't know. So, like, I'll never know if I can squat 315 if I don't squat 275, if I don't squat 285, if I don't squat 300, if I don't squat 315. I'll never, ever know. No, I still walk too much and then get a PM. Yeah, what I think that so we went over PM. We went over PM yesterday, and I read into it quite a bit. What I think a lot of that comes from is exercise intolerance and people not, like, again, dude, I'm just going to go back to this. Jazan, I don't know what your training is in or what your degree is in or what you have experience in. I'm very, very well versed in creating exercise programs. I'm very, very well versed in creating conditioning programs. I'm very, very well versed in this. And I have I don't know, in Finland, I think that's where you're from. I don't know. Wherever you're from. I don't know if by you they have what's called D1 schools, but D1 schools is where, like, the top level athletes go to. I have an entire catalog of people that I've sent to D1, D2, D3 schools. And some people that, like, have done some very impressive things. I'm not going to talk about all the accolades that I have in training and all the people that I've trained, because it's just not that important. But I'm very well versed in it. And I think a lot of times where this stuff comes from, like your PM and some other people that I've dealt with that, and their extreme exercise intolerance, comes from the fact that they literally do not know how to construct an exercise program that's progressive, that has enough volume and not too much. And so you did 4 years of physio school. Awesome. So I think that, well, physio school is physical therapy, right? Before I continue on, physio school would be physical therapy, like physical therapy here. Okay, cool. So physical therapy and what I have training in are two very different worlds. Very different worlds. And I think that I've also worked with physical therapists, funny enough. The things that you guys are taught is not that it's much different from the things that I do and the things that I was taught in college, but it's quite a bit different, right? Like I'm not well versed in like injury maintenance and things of that nature. Like I know some of it. I know some of the therapy modalities, but I always refer out to a physical therapist when I have an athlete that's injured because it's not my area of expertise. And I think a lot of times what happens is people think that because they have training in something that's similar, they think that they understand how to do it. But trust me when I say this, I have very good friends that are physical therapists. And I have throughout the years, I have very good friends that are chiropractors. I have a couple, like I had a really good friend that was a orthopedic surgeon, spinal orthopedic surgeon, and things of that nature. And they've all asked me for advice on exercise programs. They've all asked me to help them with creating and building out a progressive model. They've all asked me to help them with fat loss. They've all asked me to help them do those things because they are not the expert in that. I am in the friend group. So, and it doesn't have to be me, right? But what it should be is that I know that you've done a bunch of research and stuff like that. But like even me, dude, the coach has a coach. The coach has a coach. I almost never go more than 2 months out of a year without a coach because I want somebody who can look at things objectively and who can like take objective standards or objective measures of my fitness, my well-being and stuff like that, and then put them in a program rather than something that I feel or that I think, oh, I'm too fatigued. Well, your numbers say differently, Justin. Oh, I don't know if I can run this 5K in less than 22 minutes. Well, your miles say different, Justin. Your times say different. Well, I'm super sore. You can still train when you're sore, you idiot. Get back to training. My coach has literally told me, like I said, I like had trouble walking down the stairs after a weekend of like, doing basically an online qualifier. And I had trouble walking down the stairs. My muscles felt like they were going to tear from my joints. And I was like, hey, I don't know if I can redo this workout. I'm very sore. She's like, you can still train with your sore. Or she said, good thing you can still train when you're sore. I was like, God dang it. She doesn't give me anything. She doesn't let me be a pussy at all. And sometimes that's what you need, right? And again, it doesn't have to be me. You could be the POTS coach. It could be, I don't know if there's any other POTS creators or coaches out there. But I think that a lot of times, like, we think because we have the expertise or because we have the information, because we've done our own research that we can handle things on our own. And more times than not, it's just not the case. That's why I always say get a coach or get a mentor or get a life coach like Knitter Gritter was saying. Because oftentimes, whether we want to think that we're objective or not, we usually take things from a subjective stance. We usually create things from subjective stances. We create opinions and we have our own ideas, and that almost never is to our greatest benefit, right? So I think that sometimes, like when you're making life decisions, of course, like, yeah, like, but the other thing is like intrinsically, like, too, if you're doing the right things or not. And more times than not, people just aren't willing to admit to themselves that they're not doing the right things, that they're not staying accountable, that they're not doing, 95% of good things and 5% bad things. They know that they're not really doing that. And my challenge to you would be to get real clear and honest with yourself. I'm not saying that you haven't done this, but I'm saying if you haven't done this, this is my challenge to you. Get seriously clear. Do you need extra help? Do you need it? And then how can you get it? Can you actually hold yourself accountable to all the... Dude, I am one of the most disciplined people in life. Because I'm OCD. So I have to be disciplined. I'm ADHD. I have to be disciplined. I'm a very disciplined person. I'm more disciplined than 95% of the population. I would truly say that, right? Diet is almost the same every day. Exercise routine the same day. I do this every single day, which is like, this takes discipline to do this. I work I handle all of my billing. I'm the person who contacts all of my tax people. I'm like super disciplined. And I still have coaches to keep me accountable. Now imagine that. I'm a very, very disciplined person. I usually do everything that I say I'm going to do, and I still have other people that tell me what to do. Because everybody needs that. So my challenge is, are you really doing everything that you need to do? And look yourself in the mirror and ask that question. Am I really doing this, or am I just lying to myself to feel better? And I'm not saying that you are. I'm just saying it's a challenge. Do the thought experiment. Am I really doing all the things, or am I just saying it to make myself feel better? Okay, if I'm not doing all the things, how do I either get myself to do all the things for a month, right? Which isn't just step count and isn't just, good lifestyle. It's also like try to incorporate exercise, some sort of resistance exercise. How do I do that in a progressive model? Where do I start? Is it too much, too little? Figuring that out and then incorporating it all. And can I do that alone? If I can't do it alone, how do I outsource it? Thoughts on artificial sweetener with pots? I'm just not like a huge fan of artificial sweetener in general. Artificial sweetener, gosh, there's no like insane data to suggest that it's like actually really bad for you. There's data to suggest that it does change the microflora or the microbiome in your gut, but it's at like super high doses. The thing that I would say is, I think a lot of these people that are touting the fact that artificial sweeteners are not harmful, a lot of them will say, like Dr. Mike Israetel, for example, something that I heard him say yesterday in the podcast that I was listening to. He's a PhD, very well-educated guy. He knows way more about everything than I know. But one thing that I heard him say that was super philosophically inconsistent with the way that he speaks in general is that he's not a proponent of like caveman diet because, our ancestors, like for whatever reason. But then for some reason, he's very consistent with the fact that like epigenetically, we require exercise because we used to exercise all the time without it being formal exercise. And that's why some of the physiological responses that we have are so good via, be it like dopamine response, serotonin, and like all these feel good chemicals. Plus our bodies make adaptations like, grow muscle and, our metabolisms get a little bit better and things of that nature. But then when he talks about things like artificial sweeteners and stuff, he like touts them as if they're like the next best thing because they're low calorie and our bodies make adaptations or whatever. But how come throughout the hundreds of years or thousands of years, our bodies like require this thing that when we were, cavemen, like to do, our bodies require it and our bodies like really crave it and want it. But why can't it be true that the inverse, like artificial sweeteners are pretty much practically brand new, to like within, 60 to 80 years or so. How come now how come that's not bad? When you go down the timeline, But I think ultimately, if it doesn't mess with you, it doesn't mess with you. That's my answer. If it doesn't mess with you, it doesn't mess with you. I used to drink Diet Coke and Coke Zero all the time. All the time. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But I don't anymore. I don't like, I try to stay super chemical free. Whatever that means, right? Damn, no more Quest bars. Quest bars are ass, dude. They're not even good. You like those? Oh, dude, what the frick? I do have this. What the heck? Okay, we need to put this on. Oh, you guys, I'm so happy. Let's frickin' go. All right. Solid edit, dude. Chocolate chip cookie dough is fire. Dude, have you tried Barbella bars? Is that what they're called? No, Bearbell bars. I know they look like they say barbell bars, but they're Bearbell bars. Those are fire. Or what is the other thing that we were getting for a while? We've been getting like these Built bars. Those are good. Built bars are sick, dude. They're freaking sick, dude. Sick. Boom, 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 boom. Do you guys know who, to lighten things up a little bit, do you guys know who Waxen is on Instagram? Gosh, he's the funniest kid alive. He is the funniest kid alive. I'm going to get better at this streaming thing and then be able to show you guys some stuff eventually, but like right now I just can't. Boom, boom, boom. Cookies and cream is so good. All these are artificial flavor and corn fiber bombs though. Yeah, that's facts. That's true. You know, something that I noticed this weekend was food really messes with me, dude. Like food really messes with me. Like certain foods will really get me like fatigued, like tired the next day and stuff and mess with my mood. And it's just like, it's bad. It's not good. I don't like it. I don't like it. So my goal is we have to go to Joplin, Missouri next week for a CrossFit comp. So I'm not really going to be streaming that much. And if I do, I'm probably just going to be live streaming at the comp. We have like we got offered a booth for the podcast because in our podcast, we do a lot of, CrossFit related stuff, I guess. So we're going to be going live there. So I think that's where I'm going to do my lives. But, Oh, so when we get back, I'm gonna really try to do carnivore, just meat and fruit though, like exclusively meat and fruit, and try not to do anything stupid on the weekend. I might do a whey shake still every day, because I just bought a grass-fed whey. So I might still do that. Like I just might do that, but I just want to clean some things up. Like, dude, I've been having trouble pooping in the morning and stuff again. Like, it's just not it's not going my way. Stuff is just not going my way. A lot of the keto alternatives with crazy amount of fiber makes feel terrible too. Yeah, dude. Like those high fiber bullshit bars, they're not it. They're not it whatsoever. Gotta go work. Signing off, but awesome stream. Hey, buddy. Thank you so much. Thanks for popping in. Shoot me an email if you want to talk about one-on-one coaching. Have fun at work, whatever you do. Now I'm just working on editing this video. Jeez, I did so many sets of this exercise. Yeah, I'm not leaving all these sets in here. That's too many. Jeez. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's just do 5 of the sets. So otherwise it's too much. I demanded a lot out of my camera today. Mexicans are good pole vaulters. That's funny. I don't know what I should talk about in this new video that I'm creating. Right now I'm just making the timeline me working out so far. But I want to try to give you guys advice for something. I just don't know what exactly. Stuff can be hard sometimes, guys. Being creative can be a tough job. Why is that going to blue? It's so obviously orange. Like, what? right, that's going to be the end of the stream. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out. Goodbye. Thanks for